Welcome to a strange new realm of nature, where the weird, subatomic particles of quantum physics seem to hold sway. As a physicist, I've spent my career studying how these particles behave in controlled lab environments. Now I'm taking on the far messier world of living organisms, venturing outdoors to make sense of how quantum physics might solve some of biology's greatest mysteries. This is an exciting leap out of my comfort zone, as I try to apply the careful, methodical ideas of physics to the unpredictable realm of life. Yet I believe quantum theory could be the key to many natural riddles. Deep within animal cells, particles appear to glide through walls as if ghostly. When plants absorb sunlight, they're invaded by flickering waves that can exist in several places at once. And there's growing evidence that even our own human senses rely on delicate quantum vibrations. In this mind-bending world of quantum biology, life is a game of chance, governed by quantum rules. My hope is to show you that quantum mechanics is essential in describing many fundamental biological processes, and may even be critical to the very origins of life itself. Part 1. The Quantum Robin. My journey begins with a magnificent phenomenon in nature: migration. Each winter, flocks of barnacle geese converge upon a Scottish estuary, having flown over 2,000 miles from Svalbard, far above the Arctic Circle. Many bird species undertake such seasonal journeys, but for decades, no one understood how they navigate with such uncanny accuracy. In the last few years, one particular bird has sparked a revolution in science, startling physicists like myself. This small creature employs one of the most bewildering tricks in physics, a phenomenon that baffled even Albert Einstein. Surprisingly, it's a bird you can find in your own garden, the European robin. She looks so ordinary on a fence post or among the flower beds, yet we've discovered that her navigation relies on spooky quantum entanglement. So how did we figure this out? In a woodland lab, biologist Henrik Mauritsen has studied how robins respond to magnetic fields. He built a unique cage that mimics Earth's magnetic field, adjustable at will, and monitors the bird's movements on scratch-sensitive paper. He found that when he rotates his artificial field, the robins adjust their heading accordingly. These findings imply the robin senses the planet's subtle magnetic forces. But how could any animal detect something so faint? The big clue emerged when Henrik placed tiny hoods over a robin's head, blocking off one eye. Each time a particular eye was covered, the bird's magnetic compass vanished. It seems that the robin sees the Earth's magnetic field with her eyes. But how does such a weak field trigger a noticeable effect? The answer lies in quantum physics, specifically in subatomic bonds that can become entangled. This refers to one of the strangest phenomena in all of science, so bizarre that Einstein himself famously called it spooky action at a distance. Yet modern experiments confirm that entanglement is indeed real. If two particles are entangled, measuring one can instantly reveal the state of the other, no matter how far apart they are. In the robin's eye, it appears that photons, light particles, create a pair of entangled electrons. Their quantum state is exquisitely sensitive to even tiny changes in the ambient magnetic field. As the bird travels, local magnetic variations affect the outcome of chemical reactions in the retina, subtly shifting the bird's internal compass. Physicists used to think you needed a high-tech lab to see entanglement in action, but it's happening, effortlessly, inside a robin's skull. For me, that's remarkable. In the controlled environment of a physics lab, getting such delicate entangled systems to function is a huge challenge. Yet nature's quantum trickery is playing out in your backyard. Bird migration becomes our first glimpse of the real power of quantum biology. Part 2. Quantum whiffs, a smelling sense of vibrations. As extraordinary as quantum navigation sounds, this is just one example. Scientists now suspect that quantum physics also shapes our everyday sense of smell. At first, that notion can seem almost comedic. Is my nose a quantum instrument? To see how quantum mechanics might play a role in smell, consider that unlike vision and hearing, which detect waves, smell depends on individual chemical molecules. For decades, biologists explained smell via the lock and key model, A smell molecule of a certain shape fits into a matching receptor in the nose, triggering a nerve signal. But some molecules defy that explanation. Cyanide and benzaldehyde, for example, have clearly different shapes, yet both smell like almonds. Why would two molecules with dissimilar structures trigger an identical scent? Enter quantum biology. A growing minority of researchers propose that our noses don't merely check a molecule's shape, but also listen to its vibrations. Inside each molecule, the bonds between atoms vibrate at characteristic frequencies. These vibrations behave like minuscule guitar strings. Some scientists argue that when a scent molecule slots into a receptor, electrons in the receptor tunnel across the molecule, akin to plucking these chemical bonds. If the vibration matches the electron's quantum energy, you get a distinctive odor. In effect, our nose hears the resonance of the molecule. The real test came from experiments with heavy variants of certain fragrance molecules. If we swap out normal hydrogen atoms for heavier deuterium without altering the overall shape, the lock and key approach predicts the smell should remain identical. Yet fruit flies, with their acute aroma sensitivity, can distinguish the heavier version every time, implying that the difference must be in its vibrational frequency. That's quantum physics in a nutshell. So while shape still matters, it might not be the whole story. A subatomic sound is also at play. In a sense, when you sniff a ripe peach, your nose may be detecting quantum-scale vibrations. Part 3. Tunneling tadpoles, quantum metamorphosis. So quantum mechanics animates the flight of birds and underlies our sense of smell. But there's another, even stranger effect at work: tunneling. Picture a subatomic particle like a proton faced with an energy barrier in a chemical reaction. Classically, it can't cross without sufficient energy to climb over. Yet, quantum theory says particles can vanish on one side and reappear on the other, bypassing the barrier altogether. Physicists see this tunneling effect in radioactive decay and nuclear fusion, but it has recently been implicated in living organisms as well. Metamorphosis provides a vivid example. Consider a tadpole morphing into a frog over a matter of weeks. It must break down vast quantities of tough protein structures, like collagen, rewiring its entire body plan. The question is how it dismantles these super-strong molecular bonds so quickly. Enzymes are nature's secret weapon here. They speed up chemical reactions enormously, by a factor of 1 trillion or more. Part of that acceleration, we now believe, is due to protons tunneling right through barriers inside enzymes. Instead of waiting for the time-consuming conventional route, protons simply teleport across the barrier. The result is an explosively effective dismantling of collagen, faster than classical chemistry alone could manage. In other words, quantum tunneling might be helping the tadpole unravel its tail in record time, enabling the cells to reuse the freed-up materials to craft new limbs. So quantum mechanics, once confined to talk of nuclear reactions in stars, also explains the grace and speed of a humble tadpole's metamorphosis. Part 4. Photosynthesis, quantum waves of sunshine. So far, we've seen quantum entanglement in a robin's compass, quantum vibrations in our sense of smell, and quantum tunneling in metamorphosis. But the biggest surprise might be the revelation that the fundamental biological process on Earth, photosynthesis, relies on quantum mechanics too. Photosynthesis allows plants to capture sunlight and turn it into chemical energy. This reaction underpins nearly all food webs, from farm crops to the Amazon rainforest. It begins when light particles, photons, strike chlorophyll molecules in a leaf. The energy initially forms an exciton that must race to the cell's reaction center before dissipating. If the exciton just stumbled along one random path after another, it would waste a lot of energy. Yet experiments with ultra-fast lasers show that instead it travels with near-perfect efficiency, almost never losing its energy en route. Physicists realize the exciton is behaving like a quantum wave, exploring every possible path at once, an effect called quantum superposition. It's as though the exciton duplicates across multiple routes, picks the fastest path, and instantly focuses its energy there. To see such a delicate quantum wave in a messy biological environment stunned many of us physicists. we assumed all that warm jostling of molecules in a leaf would destroy quantum effects. Instead, it appears that plants harness this wave-like coherence to optimize energy flow. Indeed, the success of photosynthesis may well hinge on exploiting quantum weirdness at the molecular level. Without this quantum magic, sunlight might never have become life's power source. Part 5. Toward a Quantum Theory of Evolution. Quantum tunneling in tadpoles, quantum vibrations in our noses, and quantum entanglement in robins and plants. These examples reveal a deep pattern. Nature routinely exploits quantum physics to accomplish tasks no classical mechanism can match. This observation raises a profound question. Could quantum effects influence evolution itself? Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection explains how traits are passed on if they enhance survival and reproduction. But variation, mutations, fuel this process. DNA, that famous double helix, must sometimes copy itself incorrectly, producing beneficial or harmful mutations. Many are puzzlingly frequent, implying that subatomic events might be helping those changes to occur. In my own lab, we study whether quantum tunneling of protons in DNA bonds can create new mutations. Picture two DNA bases, a red one pairing with a green one, held by two protons. Usually, red only pairs with green and blue pairs with yellow. But subatomic protons can occasionally hop across, allowing red to pair with yellow instead. This error becomes locked in when DNA unwinds during replication, permanently encoding a mutation. We suspect quantum tunneling is speeding up these proton hops in DNA. Ongoing experiments involve growing bacteria in heavy water, where hydrogen is replaced by heavier deuterium. If tunneling requires a proton's light mass, then heavier deuterons should reduce mutation rates. Our initial data indeed suggests fewer mutations. It's not yet proven, but the trend is promising, pointing toward a remarkable possibility that quantum mechanics helps drive evolutionary variation. Quantum evolution still awaits definitive proof. But the fact that our earliest findings line up with the theory is electrifying. Evolution, the cosmic drama that shaped every species, including us, may owe part of its dynamism to quantum spookiness. Conclusion: quantum life. For me, this journey began by chasing rumors of a quantum compass, only to discover that quantum physics may guide migrating birds, tune our sense of smell, let frogs transform so fast, and fuel the sun's energy in green plants. The effect may even ripple into how life evolves at the genetic level. Each example has solid experimental roots, and we can't guess how many more revelations lie ahead. If there's one lesson quantum mechanics teaches, it's that the universe is more subtle and interconnected than our everyday common sense suggests. As a physicist, I'm used to controlling everything in the lab: temperature, vacuum, isolation. Yet from the robin to the tadpole, from a rose's perfume to a swirling DNA double helix, the living world effortlessly deploys quantum strategies, seemingly defying the chaotic bustle of life's environment. This suggests the next wave of science will unite quantum theory with biology and chemistry, forging a bigger picture of how nature truly operates. We stand at the threshold of a new frontier, quantum biology, a revolution that promises to transform our understanding of living systems and perhaps even lead to more advanced technologies inspired by life's quantum feats. After witnessing these wonders, I can't help but return to the lab with a new sense of awe. Life has been quantum all along. We're only just waking up to it.